Hey everybody! If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you have been around for a while, welcome back. We're writers who are passionate about our craft, and one of the things we like to do to stretch our theory muscles is to analyze and critique popular media. We've recently finished watching through the 2008 Star Wars: The Clone Wars series, paying special attention to fan favorite Ahsoka Tano, and overall, we were less than impressed with how her character writing was handled, in addition to a dozen other general writing issues we noticed. But learning from critique can only go so far. At some point, you've got to put theory into practice. So, as a writing exercise, we decided to see what we could come up with if we rewrote Ahsoka's episodes. Our main goal was to fix Ahsoka's character writing. We wanted to polish her characterization into something more befitting a Jedi Padawan, give her some meaningful struggles, and craft a proper growth arc, actually showing her learning and changing because of her experiences. We also wanted to explore how the writers could have easily improved the setups and themes without derailing the plot or losing the exciting drama or action of the series. To push ourselves to be more creative, we gave ourselves key limitations. Number one, we would not drastically change the cast or their characterization, meaning we wouldn't change the fact that Ahsoka is Anakin's Padawan. We wouldn't bring in characters who don't already exist within TCW, and we would generally maintain how those characters already tend to behave in the series, as opposed to using their prequel or EU characterizations, etc. And two, we would not drastically change the overarching direction for the plot of each episode, meaning that we have to work within the confines of the episodes already present, not cutting any or adding any from scratch, and we must generally follow the same story each one is already trying to tell. Since our rewriting sessions were unscripted, in addition to plot and characters, we often ended up discussing other writing aspects such as characterization through dialogue, nicknames, insults or compliments, bantering, exposition, when and how a lack of dialogue can be impactful, logical progressions, setups and payoffs, narrative framing, cause and effect, action scenes, tension and stakes, show versus tell, inference, problem solving, relationship dynamics, real conflict versus forced drama, manipulative writing, development and growth, power scaling, screen time usage and pacing, layering scenes, body language, and the list goes on. During our analysis of each episode, we also go into more depth explaining why certain scenes that we've complained about in other series or videos are problematic. But viewers who accuse us of always being so negative will be happy to hear that we make sure to point out Ahsoka's good character moments too.
That was actually a moment of genuine concern from Ahsoka, so I say props to that.
Skywalker has taught me a trick or two. I think I can get this communicator working.
And that's not a bad moment there, because you would expect that she's picked up a trick or two from Anakin. So I really do like that.
I should find Anakin or Obi-Wan. They need to hear this.
No, you must listen.
But I wasn't assigned to the team. I lied just so I could be a part of the mission.
I will be honest, I do like that she is at least like, no, I gotta go get help. Anakin or Obi-Wan should be the ones hearing this. Like, yeah, I'm not even supposed to be here. Like, I do appreciate that. You can find our full rewriting sessions under the Fixing Ahsoka series playlist. But this video is a summary compilation of how we changed her character and story through the first 3 seasons. We haven't finished rewriting season 4 to 7 yet. If you enjoy our ideas, be sure to follow along and let us know your thoughts as we continue. To give you an overall idea of what you can expect in our first season, most of our adjustments were to characterization rather than plot. We kept Ahsoka's immaturity and cockiness, though we reframed moments and tweaked a lot of her dialogue in order to take the edge off her brattiness. With those tweaks, we were able to work in some themes and lessons for her to learn. Mainly, her relationship with Anakin is given some wrinkles that need to be ironed out. While she's pushing boundaries and buttons at the start, we gradually have her learn learn to trust and respect Anakin's intuition and leadership, forging a strong bond between Master and Padawan. We also take advantage of her time with substitute teachers Luminara, Sakura, Obi-Wan, and even Padme. Throughout the dangers they face together, each mentor gives her unique insight to carry her forward, and every experience leaves its mark, for better or worse. By the end of the season, our young apprentice has a lot weighing on her mind. We make sure to go over every appearance she makes, large or small, but to give you a sneak peek at what the key episodes contain,
Episode 2 and 3, The Malevolence Arc. When Plo Koon and his men are considered lost in rising malevolence, Ahsoka boldly insists that they should attempt a rescue, despite the Council's wishes. While her instincts prove correct in the end, she learns from Anakin that how you conduct yourself is just as important as sticking to your convictions. In Shadow of Malevolence, Ahsoka is disappointed when Anakin assigns her as his gunner instead of letting her pilot her own ship for the assault on the Malevolence. But over the course of their mission, she recognizes the wisdom in his decision and benefits from the opportunity it gives her to watch how he rolls with all the punches to lead their team to success. Episode 6 and 7, The Goldie Arc. When R2-D2 goes missing in action, Anakin refuses to give up hope that the little droid can be found, but Ahsoka isn't so sure his instincts can be trusted. However, they do agree that the replacement R3 unit is frustratingly incompetent. After being denied any chance to replace it, they are forced to rely on it during their infiltration of a separatist listening post, where Ahsoka is unfortunate enough to meet the formidable General Grievous. Separated from her master and facing betrayal, Ahsoka struggles to escape this deadly foe and ensure the team can complete their mission. Episode 9, Cloak of Darkness. While accompanying Luminara to escort prisoner Newt Gunray, Ahsoka's impatience gets the better of her, and she interferes with his interrogation. To make matters worse, their ship is ambushed by separatists led by the deadly assassin Ventress. Ahsoka knows the importance of keeping Gunray in custody, but also recognizes the threat Ventress poses, which leaves her torn. Should she obey Luminara's orders to stay on guard, or should she rush to assist the Jedi Master? Episode 13 and 14, The Lerman Arc. In Jedi Crash, during an attempt to evacuate Aayla Secura, Anakin sacrifices himself to protect the others, leaving him in critical condition. Then, when trying to dock with the Republic fleet, their ship malfunctions. Next thing she knows, Ahsoka is stranded with her allies without a way home, or a way to help her injured master. While leading the team to find a solution to both problems, Aayla teaches the anxious apprentice about how living according to the Jedi values can require making very difficult choices. In Defenders of Peace, separatist forces overrun the Lerman's home. Ahsoka expects that the Jedi team will help the village, but the Elder rebuffs her assertion that they need any such aid, choosing instead to capitulate to the invaders. The Jedi Masters model the importance of respecting others' beliefs, while Ahsoka grapples with the question of what peacekeeping ought to look like during wartime, especially against an enemy that seems purely evil. Episode 15, Trespass, discussed as part of our Season 3 Episode 4 rewrite. Ahsoka accompanies Obi-Wan on a diplomatic mission to the Pantoran moon, where she meets the young Senator Chuchi, someone who, like herself, is still learning how to embrace her role. As the girls get to know each other, Ahsoka comes face to face with the reality of how bureaucracy can cripple a Jedi's ability to act as a peacekeeper, and as this rides on the heels of her experience with the Lerman, it leaves her to wonder what being a Jedi really means. Episode 17 and 18, The Blue Shadow Virus Arc. After they invade the underground laboratory, Ahsoka is among those infected when the virus is released within the bunker. Facing her own apparently imminent mortality shakes her to her core. Although Padme comforts and mentors the frightened Padawan, creating a bond between them, the experience plants seeds for what may later be one of Ahsoka's darkest moments. Episode 19, Storm over Ryloth. Officially in command for the first time, Ahsoka leads the effort to break through the Separatist blockade. But things take a turn for the worse when her ship is damaged, leaving her injured and her visibility obscured. When enemy reinforcements arrive, Ahsoka is helpless to stop the heavy casualties that follow. Although the mission is salvaged by her allies, Ahsoka's confidence remains shattered, leaving the audience to wonder what's in store for her character in Season 2.
In the second season, we started branching out further. The more adjustments we made to Ahsoka's character, the more it necessitated changes to her behavior, which in turn affected plot beats. Entire scenes were getting rewritten as opposed to just altering dialogue. In terms of Anakin and Ahsoka's dynamic, we worked on showing that the two of them have really become a team. Ahsoka holds a lot of respect and admiration for Skywalker, but she recognizes that he's different from other Jedi, which leaves her conflicted. After all, she continues striving to be a good Jedi herself, but she's struggling to see when it is right or wrong to follow her master's example. But in addition to Anakin and Obi-Wan's ongoing guidance, during this time Ahsoka has the opportunity to weigh the counsels of other wise companions, such as Sanube, Plo Koon, and her new friend Barriss, each of them helping her character grow, even while her fears and questions keep gnawing at the back of her mind, sometimes rising a little too close to the surface. Here's a sample of what each of the key episodes contain.
Episode 1, 2, and 3, the Holocron Arc. In Holocron Heist, because Ahsoka is still reeling from the traumatic battle over Ryloth, she requests guard duty at the Jedi Temple to give her time to recuperate. However, her expectations of quiet and security are dashed when Bane and his accomplice infiltrate the archives to steal a holocron with the locations of Force-sensitive children. Despite her misgivings, Ahsoka's concern for the younglings spurs her back into action. But in Cargo of Doom, that resolve to help others is tested when she becomes a tool for Bane's manipulations. Once again, seemingly faced with imminent death, she is reminded of her experience in the bunker on Naboo, and she can't help but question if she's really cut out for this line of work. In Children of the Force, Master and Padawan work in tandem to recapture Bane and, once he's in custody, track down the kidnapped children before it's too late. Throughout it all, Anakin encourages her to see that she's exactly where she should be, right by his side. Episode 17, Bounty Hunters. Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Ahsoka end up stranded on Felucia after being attacked during a reconnaissance mission. While looking for a way to fly home, they discover a farming village under threat from Hondo's pirates. Although a team of bounty hunters have been hired to protect them, Ahsoka figures the Jedi will help also. But her mentors explain that just because they want to help doesn't mean they can. They have a duty to the Republic to fulfill. Fortunately, their best option for getting back home is the bounty hunter's ship, and the mercenaries aren't leaving until the village is safe. Episode 5, 6, and 8, the Geonosian Arc. When their offensive doesn't go as planned in landing at Point Rain, Ahsoka and her allies must all battle against the odds to regroup. To get herself through the gruesome fray, Ahsoka partakes in a tally game devised by a few clones. After all, they're only counting how many droids they dismantle. But even so, is it really harmless to gloat over destruction? In Weapons Factory, the Republic forces plan to destroy the Geonosian droid factory. Despite Anakin's concerns, in order to help accomplish this goal, Ahsoka is paired with Luminar's Padawan, Barriss, and sent inside the maze-like factory to plant explosives. However, when the mission goes sideways, Ahsoka must rely on her new friend and bolster her courage to see things through. During their supply mission in Brain Invaders, the two girls find themselves bonding over a shared struggle to understand what their role in the war should be and how it may change when peace returns to the galaxy. But their musings are interrupted by an attack from the clones, whom they soon discover are controlled by an enemy parasite. When Barriss ends up getting infected too, Ahsoka is reminded of Master Sakura's insight regarding tough choices, and what could be more difficult than choosing between ending her friend's life or risking the brainworm's escape. Episode 11, Lightsaber Lost. After losing her lightsaber to a pickpocket, Ahsoka ends up partnered with retired Master Sanube, an expert on the criminal underworld. Although she respectfully defers to his status and knowledge, Ahsoka can't help worrying that the elderly Jedi won't be able to solve the case fast enough to prevent harm. But the senior's skill and patience proves handy during the many twists and turns of their quest, and even begins to rub off on the agitated Padawan. Episode 22, Lethal Trackdown. Joining Plo Koon in the search for clues to locate Boba Fett, Ahsoka has a chance to put into practice what she learned from Sanube. The information she discovers through her efforts lead her and Master Plo to Florum, and straight into a violent confrontation with Fett and his accomplice Aurra Sing, the results of which weigh heavy on Ahsoka's mind.
In Season 3, we knew it was time for Ahsoka to start growing beyond Anakin and the limitations of her position as a Jedi, and so we pushed her to learn more about herself and her abilities, and also leaned hard into her fears, questions, and struggles, readying her for a finale which would shift her character into a new direction. To accomplish this, we began taking even greater strides with our rewrites, cutting or adding subplots and characters, reorganizing scenes, doubling down on our themes, and playing a bit with the world building, mainly within the confines of what is already canon. During her adventures, Ahsoka gets to reunite with Luminara, Senator Chuchi, and Padme, as well as meeting Lux, Tarkin, and Khalifa, who each leave an impression on her. Here are the teaser summaries for the key episodes.
Episode 6, The Academy. Ahsoka accompanies Luminara to Mandalore to teach a class of impressionable students at the request of Duchess Satine. Due to Mandalorian customs, she is parted from her lightsaber, which means that when Luminara is called away and the students uncover corruption, Ahsoka must rely solely on her wits and skill with the Force to see them all safely through the ordeal. Episode 7, Assassin. Following the guidance of Grand Master Yoda, after Ahsoka receives visions warning her that Padme's life is in peril, she volunteers to protect the Senator as she travels to speak at a conference on Alderaan. While Ahsoka struggles to puzzle out the clues contained within these premonitions, her bond with Padme blossoms into friendship, granting a small ray of light in the face of looming danger. Episode 4, Sphere of Influence. After learning that the Jedi cannot get involved in the investigation for the Pantoran chairman's missing daughters, Ahsoka chooses to temporarily set aside her position as a Jedi in an effort to aid her friend Senator Chuchi. Ahsoka's innate Force abilities are once again put to the test when a diplomatic visit to the Trade Federation blockade reveals a connection to the kidnapping, and the two girls must secretly navigate the enemy's ship in search of the hostages. Episode 10, Heroes on Both Sides. Padme requests Ahsoka to escort her to the separatist capital, Raxus, to covertly meet her friend, Senator Bonteri, in the hopes of sparking peace negotiations. Certain that a trip into the heart of enemy territory will end horribly, Ahsoka only agrees to come in order to keep Padme safe. But during their time at Bonteri's home, Ahsoka begins to realize that the Separatists are not as irredeemable as she assumed, nor is the Republic so virtuous as she believed. Episode 15, 16, and 17, The Mortis Arc. In Overlords, while searching for the source of an unusual Jedi distress call, Ahsoka, Anakin, and Obi-Wan are pulled into a strange world that is rich in the Force. When she and Obi-Wan end up separated from Anakin and stranded in a storm, Ahsoka learns that her master is believed to be the Chosen One. She also receives a vision of her own dark potential, which warns her of imminent danger. As the team tries to escape the planet in Altar of Mortis, Ahsoka is kidnapped and infected by the dark side to become a tool for the Sun, leading to a harrowing experience where she comes to see what may await her beyond death's embrace. In Ghosts of Mortis, while wrestling with emotions that threaten to overwhelm her, Ahsoka does her best to help out wherever she can. But their situation becomes all the more dire when Anakin is corrupted by the dark side and turns against them, leaving Ahsoka and Obi-Wan scrambling to find a way to get him back and flee this bizarre planet at last. Episode 18, 19, and 20, The Citadel Arc. In the Citadel, although Ahsoka is nervous about being included on such an important and hazardous rescue mission, after consulting Plo Koon, she does her best to rise to the challenge. In counterattack, Tarkin displays his strategic but selfish mind as Ahsoka demonstrates her maturity and capability. She is surprised, however, to witness Anakin share a sense of camaraderie with Tarkin as he opens up about his doubts regarding the Jedi's effectiveness, doubts that echo her own, leaving her with more troubling questions. As the team races to reach the evacuation point in Citadel Rescue, Ahsoka seeks guidance from Anakin and Obi-Wan, but is left with just as many questions as before. And in the face of death, dishonor, and failure, she grapples with lingering uncertainty, fear, and guilt. Episode 20 and 21, The Trandoshan Arc. In Padawan Lost, during a battle on Felucia, Ahsoka is captured as prey for Trandoshan sport hunting. Mercifully, she is aided by a band of Jedi younglings who have survived under the leadership of one called Khalifa. Although she respects their experience, Ahsoka struggles against their hopelessness, trying to inspire them even as she is weighed down by the same grief, fear, and anger at their situation. Pushed to desperation, Ahsoka and the others attempt a foolhardy escape in Wookiee Hunt, through which they gain a valuable ally and a prisoner. Against her better judgment, Ahsoka backs up Khalifa when she insists on a full frontal assault. But when they're on the brink of failure, face to face with their nemesis, the darkness that's been growing inside Ahsoka at last spills over.
And that's all we have so far. We're really happy with how the exercise has been going, even though, due to the unscripted, impromptu format of the videos, it's really only rough draft quality. Action and dialogue is mostly vibed out rather than planned in detail. And there are many times where, in hindsight, we realize we could have better shown something or strengthened a particular theme, more solidly wrapped things up, etc. We've posted a few of those ideas in the comments below the relevant videos. Admittedly, we didn't have a clear direction at first. It was primarily just about making Ahsoka less of a brat. So we were focused on minor adjustments to individual episodes rather than planning an overarching character journey. But as we kept moving forward, we made sure to build on whatever we'd decided previously. So it's actually come together quite well, in our opinion, despite a couple spots where things aren't as polished. Although her characterization seems almost too good in the beginning, it's balanced by her experiencing setbacks, genuine consequences, lingering struggles, and lasting growth that affects her character as the seasons progress. Unlike what we see in the original version, we'd honestly love for people to offer ideas to fill in the holes that we left. The comment section is wide open to suggestions for adjustments or including extra details, that kind of thing. If you're interested in following along as we continue the series, be sure to subscribe. And if you're willing and able to offer any financial support for the work we do here, be sure to check out our Patreon page or the Super Thanks feature. Massive thanks, as always, to our current patrons. Other than that, the best way you can help our channel is by feeding the algorithm with likes and comments, as well as sharing our videos with others. Remember to stay loud and proud, folks, and we'll see you around. Sleep deprivation, it's a great thing. Doodles. I hate being a human. No! Sue me. In season 3, we knew it was time for Ahsoka to begin. And that's all we have so far. We've posted a few of those ideas in the comments below the relevant videos. Should I just do this throughout the whole recording? Do you think that would be a good idea? Do you? Do you? Well, answer me. If you don't answer me, I'm gonna assume it's a yes. Maybe I should smile more. But I also don't want to be that person who's like, "Hi everybody, how are you? All I do is smile." It's ASMR. Okay, I'm genuinely getting far too much into this. Okay. Bye.
When R2-D2 goes MIA, Anakin refuses to... That did not sound good. While accompanying Luminara to accompanying in Jedi Crash during an attempt to Episode 15, Trespass. Discussed as part of our season. After they invade the underground, officially in command, after losing her lightsaber to a pickpocket, whatever that is, Ahsoka has a chance to put into practice. No, Dusty, nobody asked you. Who have survived under the leadership of one. Nope. Pushed to that's hard to say.